Salute everyone.
Yes, sir.
Everyone is having a
I thought that was it.
mopey. No, that's not it, man.
Jump right
Everybody's
to that.
having
Salute.
everybody's having a mopey day. You know, I'm holding my, Rod's not here, Ron's not here. You know what I mean?
Got the duff.
I got the duff. And what's crazy is because, we saw,
Shout out to the Mad Duff.
we saw what happened with the Knicks. You know what I mean? Last night. So we're definitely gonna talk on that, touch on that subject. But what's crazy is that how we started that episode on 2 days ago, right? And that was all Jay's idea, yo. Like everybody wanna go. Yo,
I like
shout
that
out
idea.
to-
I wanna.
Yo, and this shot goes out to George Wendt, who passed away that
Oddly
same
enough.
day.
Yeah. And
My
we didn't
homie-
know it wasn't. Yeah.
My homie Norm,
Wow.
Norm has
Passed that
passed away, bro.
Wow, that's
We did that
The
episode. And I was just
same day.
we were backstage just bugging the fuck out, and I don't know where it jumped into my head, and I started singing this shit. I don't know
that
the
energy.
show, and like I have never really watched the show. I just used to hear the song.
Never watched that show?
Not,
Oh,
not like
shit.
that.
Yo,
My parents
Cheers
used to
is
watch the shit.
hilarious, son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I catch some of it, but the song always meant that I was supposed to be in bed because that shit came on later than I was supposed to be staying awake.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I do
Channel
the
4
song
back in the day.
Yeah,
Yo,
but he
facts.
passed away that day. Q, that's crazy.
Norm was the
Passed
accountant,
away
right?
that
Cliff was
day.
the mailman, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Cliff was the
crazy.
mailman.
Yeah, Cliff was the man, you know what I mean? And Sammy was the bar owner. Yo, salute to George.
shout
Oh, this
out
nigga D just hit me. I'm at the
Norm.
Beyonce concert, my guy. Hello.
That's
All right,
see,
yeah.
that's real money. He got that real
We
money.
over here holding it down.
Yo,
Let's get
salute,
it.
R.I.P. Let's talk about the Knicks. Salute, my guys. Let's go.
R.I.P. Tyrese Halliburton. It's going down. All right, man. Welcome back to Real Sports Talk, New York's new #1 sports talk show. We are the voice of the streets. Allow me to reintroduce myself. It's your boy Cash. And you already know who I got with me. I got my boy Jay, my boy Q. Shout out to D. Shout out to Rod. Couldn't make it tonight, but we got to hold down the fort. The game don't stop unless
Facts.
But yo, real quick, man. I need. You know what? I gotta play this shit real quick, man. Real quick, cause
We starting off with.
Nah, you know what? I'll save that for later. Look, Q kind of touched on it in the pause in the beginning. Let's not get crazy. I have to recap it because this is how we do.
I ain't touched nothing, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's for let you know.
You know what I mean?
I'm putting out
You know what I
disclaimer.
mean?
I'm putting a disclaimer out there. I ain't touched nothing.
The disclaimer. We gotta get the disclaimer.
You
But
know
listen,
what I mean?
Game 1 Eastern Conference Finals. Last night, Wednesday night, depending on when you watching this. My dudes, historical collapse. New York led by everyone knows the story, but I gotta reiterate it. 14 points with 2:51 left to play. Man, there were people leaving the Garden, dog. You seen dudes running up the stairs. Everyone's trying to beat the traffic, jump on the Long Island Railroad, get they cars out the fucking out the parking garages. To play the celebrity entrances over there. They trying to skate. People jumping on the 4 train going uptown, 7 train going to Queens. Forget about it. New York was out. He's like, we got this in the bag. Let's get it. Game 1. Let's talk about it. Right? Nah, not so fast, man. Then the epic fold started to unfold, man. Up by like 14 or 15 in the fourth quarter. Up by 14 or 15, and the game to me, the first 3 quarters and even a little bit into the fourth quarter, the game felt like it was clicking. The Knicks felt like they were clicking on all cylinders, man. Cat was balling. Cat was giving the type of performance that we said Cat needs to ball like this. Exhibit A, Cat needs to ball like this in order for us to beat the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Brunson putting together a Brunson type of game, albeit him being in foul trouble, 7 turnovers, man. He got to clean that up a little bit. But he was getting the looks he wanted, right? Playing bully ball down low, just doing whatever he wanted with Nemhart. A lot of space in the paint to work. going down there doing his footwork thing, driving the lane. It was space. It was beautiful. So much space. So much different in the Detroit series, and so much even different in the Boston series. Less physical. The game was flowing more. Was open. Right. He was giving Nemhart that work. He was giving Holly Berry that work. You know what I'm saying, in the paint. You know what I mean? When I say Holly Berry, I mean Holly Burden. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying. Mikal Bridges, he was doing this thing early, right? That's one of the other keys, right? The DJ Khaled keys. Mikal got to do his shit early. We need to see that fourth quarter Mikal in the first, second, third, and the fourth, and we started getting it. I'm like, oh shit, like everything is coming together, right? You know what I'm saying? Campaign, who had a terrible 2 series outside of the first Detroit game, right? Him and OG holding it down offensively when Brunson got into foul trouble and he was on the bench, man. Knicks, one of the slowest paced teams in the regular season, seemingly comfortable with this furious pace of the Pacers, no pun intended, right? The lanes were open. There was trailers. They was dumping off to the. It was beautiful, man. Everything looked wide open. The Detroit game was so mucked up and so old school and dirty and nasty and just not pretty basketball. Celtics was kind of like a blend of that, you know what I mean? But everything looked good. Mitch, I'm just highlighting the good shit because we got to get to the bad shit, right?
Of course.
Causing havoc in the middle once again. I don't know if y'all heard. Holly Berry was on the sidelines and she was mic'd up. She was mic'd up. And she said, "Yo, his arms are so long, he don't even have to jump."
Hold on, I'm doing shots, man. I'm not doing shots. Hold on, hold on, wait. We got bullets over here, son. Hold on, I know how to do this shot.
Let's go. Give me full clip. The clip is full.
Yeah, hold on, that shit is.
Oh, you fucking up the flow right now. Yo, when you find him, let me know. Holly Berry was on the sideline, mic'd up. And she said, "Yo, his arms are so long." Pause. His arms are so long that he don't even got to jump. So I was like, "Damn, okay, cool." He also had a moment where he said, "Damn, man, we got to score when Brunson ain't in the game." So he was concerned. I don't know if y'all heard that. He was definitely concerned. Mm-hmm. Again, Deuce, Josh, everybody was balling. It was up and it was stuck. I said earlier, up by 14, 2:51 to play. Actually up 9 with 58 seconds. 58 seconds. I know y'all noticed. I don't mean to keep bringing you through the heartache and the pain, but we got to say that to say what we're going to say next. 58 seconds, less than a minute. Historical choke. Here's my thing, right? And we just talked about this in our little pre-pro meeting. Neesmith, right? I know y'all saying he ain't a shooter like that. He had the ghost of Steph Curry in him, pause. And the Splash Brothers, pause. I say this: third in the NBA this year, I believe in 3-point percentage. You can check that if you want. I'm not exactly sure, but I think I heard that over 50% in the playoffs, and he was getting open look after open look after open look, raining on him. OG Mikal, you got to be better. Last point: Halliburton hits what should have been or could have been the game-winning 3, but his foot was on the line. That as soon as he did that, I said, "Damn, that's just like Kevin Durant against the Bucks a couple of years ago. He could have eliminated them. Crazy." And then he does the ultimate. The ultimate disrespect. Does the choke shit prematurely, but he does the choke shit, pointing at Reggie Miller. Yo, he thought he had the ill moment at the Garden. Yo, that shit. First of all, it was a lucky bounce. That was the basketball gods right there. But that shit was mad disrespectful. That shit was worse than on homeboy Trae Young's little antics. He be fucking rolling CeeLo and just wilding, disrespecting. Brought back 30 years ago, that Reggie Miller game. If you're old enough, if you're blessed and to be old enough like myself and Jay, and that game was 95. Even though we won that series, that game, I had flashbacks. I definitely had some PTSD. I'm going to pass it off. Shitload of turnovers yesterday. That's one of the reasons. Missed clutch free throws. They're slipping and sliding all over the place at the end. Looked a little bit like fatigue to me. I could be wrong. A very bad call by the ref with the Siakam OG thing. I thought that was a foul. We couldn't challenge that. That to me was a really, really bullshit call. Having problems inbounding the ball. A lot of trouble. I thought we got to straighten that out. That's been all year. And not closing out on a 3. I saw a complacent team. I saw a team that didn't execute down the stretch. I saw a team that would look fatigued. I think maybe the speed, even though they were, like I said, they were flowing with the pace of the game and the speed of the game. I think it did catch up to them. You know what I'm saying? Partly because even though Tibbs extended his bench a little bit, their bench is like super deep. I saw a team that was disjointed in the Knicks, and they let a golden opportunity fall by the wayside. But here's what I did see too. I saw, and I'm gonna pass it off to Jay after this. I saw a superior New York Knicks team for 3.5 quarters. So I am optimistic. We're gonna go get this. We're gonna split this one here. We're gonna go into Indiana, go get our home court advantage back. I know Jalen and them. I know they got pictures of this motherfucker. I think it's on the bottom of the screen, right? They got pictures of this motherfucker doing the choke shit, and I know the motherfuckers is focused. Jay, I'm gonna pass it off to you. You can swallow the fucking hemlock, or you could cheer us up.
Man.
It's up to you.
That's a wild pause.
Nah, hemlock is poison, bro. That's not how's that a pause?
You just told Jay to swallow.
Yeah, it was wild.
I mean, I know.
We're so mad right now. I'm looking right past that.
I'm good with that.
So absolutely.
So if I go to the doctor and say, "Doctor, my throat hurts, I can't swallow," yo, pause, man. Get this man some penicillin, man. Nah,
that's why I've never been a doctor. I'm like,
I'll say this.
Swallow, nigga.
Go ahead, Jay. Talk about it.
If it takes a monumental heroics of and
Q, shut it out. Yeah.
Monumental heroics and Naismith hitting 8 threes altogether in the game, scoring more points than he's ever scored in his career in overtime, then I feel good about the way that this is going to go. I think that, like you said, the Knicks were a little complacent. They got a little cocky towards the end. They didn't play, I don't think, as hard as they could have, and they let it get away from them. And it's a loss that we shouldn't have taken, but we did. I'm very optimistic about the way they played. They played 3 quarters. I think they just have to figure out a way to finish it, and I don't think that they'll have a problem finishing the game. What I do want to talk about was off the court. Okay. I don't feel that Reggie Miller should have the right to fucking commentate that game in New York. That bothers me a lot. That a guy, I just had to sit through the 30 for 30 Reggie versus the New York Knicks. It's on ESPN. I watched it. It's actually a good documentary. It shows the history of that rivalry. But I don't believe that he should be the one. Like, he's a mush automatic. So I don't see how the Knicks didn't allow. Somebody has to say something. Like, we wouldn't. Would we allow Charles Oakley to fucking commentate a game in Indiana? I just don't feel that it's Patrick Ewing. It's a conflict of interest.
It's wild disrespectful, right?
It's a conflict of interest. That guy should not be allowed to commentate. If you want to put him in Indiana and let him commentate the fucking game over there, I
agree with that.
But he shouldn't be able to commentate a Madison Square Garden Knicks playoff game against the Indiana Pacers. It feels like a real slap in the fucking face.
So then put Charles Oakley in Indiana and let him commentate that shit.
Anybody, but I don't want to see that fucking mush face with this punchable fucking face, pointing at each other, making jokes, all choking, back and forth with one another. That shit was annoying as fuck, bro. I'm surprised people didn't start throwing shit. Because
the shit he said at the end, he was like, "Oh, that's disrespect." When he threw the ball with him and Cat threw it up with 0.2 seconds or whatever,
bro.
He was loving it. Fucking Reggie Miller.
It's super cool.
I was waiting for John Starks to come out of the stand and just headbutt the motherfucker.
Just headbutt the motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying?
Because he really, realistically speaking, like, there's no other team where you see a commentator that has that type of fucking that type of role. There was there's nowhere else that you can't put.
He tries to be unbiased. He's
not, though.
But it's impossible to be impartial.
It pours out of that asshole. Like when we're watching the game, you can hear it. You can hear the.
I guess we bypassing everything. We bypassing everything tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we have
we got work to do.
Tonight we have a pause clause.
On pause.
All right? Like, Trump just passed it. You know what I mean? He spoke to Barack Obama. He spoke to Barack Obama, who's a real basketball fan. So, we made sure we got a pause clause in tonight's show. Let's go.
No pausing tonight. We got finish, Jay. My fault.
So I don't feel that he should have the right to commentate those games. I don't want to see him in. I don't know if he's on the call for tomorrow. He probably is, but I don't think
Well,
that
it's
it's
probably
fair.
I think it's ESPN tomorrow. It might be ESPN tomorrow, right? I'm not sure. If it's ESPN, he's not on the call, right? Because he's
I
TNT,
hope.
right? Yeah.
I fucking hope,
Yeah.
because I don't want to see that guy. Like
No,
I
me
don't think that.
neither.
I feel like that's a 6-man almost. Like it feels
Yeah,
like
it does.
they have like they're giving them a portion of home court advantage to a
Yeah.
team that's playing away. They're making them more comfortable. They're like, why should they be comfortable in our house?
No, I agree.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I didn't think of it like in that perspective, to keep it honest.
We're gonna get back to you, JQ. Talk to me, man. I was watching the game with you yesterday. When he shot that ball, first of all, when he drove in and he came back out and he shot the ball, there was so many different reasons or so many different fingers you can point, so to speak, at the reasons why the collapse happened. Like I said earlier, from not guarding the three to bad inbounds to fucking turnovers to miss free throws. What are your thoughts on? How I know you're stressed out, but how stressed out are you? And do you think they mentally and physically, or should not say physically, but mentally, can they come back from this and can they win the series?
Without a doubt. I
Okay.
think the Knicks have to deal with this all season, right? Wasn't this the scrutiny? Like, I don't think aside from like play footage that Tibbs has to show these guys of what happened wrong. But like, if these guys need some more animosity on top of the choking, the what I mean, the ahead of the time choking shit by Halliburton, bro, just listen to every analyst before the season even started
Okay.
and see what their prediction was, right? You can't even get past the Celtics. You can't get past. Oh man, even before they even played, this is way before we even talking about them. This is way before even the All-Star weekend. Oh man, like yeah, they're playing great. They're playing great, but they still can't beat the good teams. Yeah, that's true. It was making us Knicks fans nervous. Yeah, they can't beat the. All right, shit. So now Knicks fans are getting nervous. But you know what Knicks fans does and Knicks fans do, and what New York always happens to overcome is adversity.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody can ever say that we do that better than anybody other team.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, because
this was more than adversity. This was an epic.
No, it was a fail. It was a fail.
Fail.
Because you know why? It was a fail? Because everybody didn't think we would even get to this stage. Nobody thought we were gonna get here. So when we got here and we're showing, imagine being at a race and you thinking you're gonna be the second slowest, and you becoming the first fastest, and you're like, "Oh, I'm coasting. What the hell's going on? I'm gonna just start jogging," and then you lose because the other people are just gonna be like, "I'm gonna just keep trucking. I'm gonna just keep trucking." Man, the story always goes on told, but you know what happens? This is gonna be a great thing because we can say what happened. We all know what happened. We can blame it on Tibbs. We can blame it on the free throw missing. You know what I mean? Which I think is a real big issue that they need to address. And I think Tibbs has gotten better with his in-game adjustments, just not has gotten as good as we expect.
Yesterday. He got lapped yesterday.
He got his ass. He got his ass whooped.
He got lapped.
He
bad
needs
challenges. Rick Carlisle won every fucking challenge yesterday, which is
because
nuts.
he only won 2, and that's because we lost our first one. But that's what needs to happen. And the Knicks players need to be more tough. Stop. Every time you think you're getting fouled, don't look to your bench saying,
I hate that.
Come on. Yo, bro.
I hate that spitting fingers.
You saw Carlisle when he first looked at the first challenge that I forgot. I think it was it might have been on a foul. I can't remember what the fucking the instance was. But Carlisle went like this. Get out of here.
Stop with that.
Go back to the game, man.
Run,
you know what I'm saying?
Run the play, man. Run the play. There's people, there's analysts, there's people with tablets and shit. They're seeing things that I understand. You might think you got fouled. And trust me, those people will say it. And if there's a ball, if there's a little you know what I mean? Like it takes a couple extra seconds to get the ball inbounded, then yeah, those people should step in. But come on, man. Like, and you know what I mean? Like, but we can't blame the goaltending. We can't blame the foul that was on, OG when we got that tip off. I can't blame that all on refereeing. I blame that on the Knicks not feeling like they really, truly wanted to win. I'll keep it a buck because they didn't play like how they played after the Celtics disrespected them in Game 5. They came in Game 6, and what did Jalen Brunson do in Game 5? He waved at them. In Game 6, what did we do? We beat them by 38. We was up by 14 points with 2.5 minutes left. Why did we not win by 25?
The Pacers. Finish, guys.
No, because what this team doesn't understand yet, and they're new to this. We're new to this as fans. This whole organization is new to this because we haven't been here in 25 years. What we have to understand, the teams that get to this point are great teams. They don't just get here because luck happened and struck happened and they hit the pot of the gold. They found the end of the rainbow or they sold their soul to the devil. That doesn't happen. What happened was they played good basketball. Maybe one person got injured, whatever. Who cares? But what the Knicks need to understand in order to continue through this and go through the adversity and continue to win is keep playing the type of basketball that you've been playing the entire season, the entire playoffs, and they did it last night. They put their foot off the pedal. They looked like they didn't want to win the race. It was like Vin Diesel when he wanted to let Paul Walker win the race. And that's what happened.
What are you talking about?
You lost me with that one, but all right.
You
All right. You lost me with
I
that
just
one.
fucking with you. I just
You lost me with that one. I had to.
listen.
Well, the car people will understand. All right, the car people who are
no question.
Knick
Shout out
fans
to all the car people. Listen. See, what I originally said in the monologue, I said, the Pacers. I saw the Knicks. I saw the Knicks. I saw good qualities in the Knicks, even in defeat yesterday. The silver lining, so to speak. But what worries me about the Pacers is what worries everyone else. The way, no pun intended, no pun intended. But the pace of their game, and my words are jumping over. The pace of their game, although we were keeping up with them, you saw the fatigue at the end. It was clear. Brunson looked exhausted. These guys look tired. When your legs are tired, your jump shots rimming, right? That could have been a reason for maybe some of the free throws, missed free throws. Other than that, the pace of the game, the way Rick Carlisle, he's an experienced guy. He's a championship guy. He outcoached Tibbs. That worries me a little bit. I never thought Tibbs was a great X and O guy. He did show me some things in the Boston series and even the Detroit series where he drew up some plays at the end and he made some defensive adjustments. So I don't want to really crap on him, but every so often Tibbs will get outcoached. The fatigue, the pace, and this is the Boston shit all over again, man. I don't know if we can survive 2 series where these guys, paces get hot. When they get hot, shit starts raining. And we are, I don't know what it is, all year long. For the last 3 years, let's be honest, we can't guard the 3. OG, Mikel, my mans, you got to be better than that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be better than that. Mitch is doing his thing.
Who you said? You said
Mikel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the guy who missed 2 straight free throws. And you told me, Mikel was the savior on the Celtics series. He missed two free throws back to back. I'm not a hater, but like,
you hate him though.
Yeah, you hate him. You hate him. Let's keep it.
I don't hate him, bro. I don't hate nobody, man. But like, that shit should not be happening. Because all right, so then, besides that, and I want to ask you guys this opinion. Like, do you think Nesmith is gonna have another moment like he did just now? You think Halliburton is gonna have another 31-11 game?
That was what I said. I said if it took that for them to actually win, it took overtime and 2 guys scoring. I mean, listen, Halliburton can score, and we know what Nesmith can do from 3-point land if he's allowed the opportunity. But to Cash's point, we have to run those guys off the 3-point line. We have to figure out a way to effectively, especially after he started getting hot. Once a guy hits 2 in a fucking row. All right, guys, we should go into emergency mode at that point and say, somebody fucking come on, guys.
Yeah,
and
get the ball out of it. At the very least, get the ball out of his hands.
These weren't contested.
You feel what I'm saying?
These weren't.
Yeah.
They weren't heavily contested.
No, they weren't heavily contested at all.
So when you see that, it's scary.
Running on switches, trying to close out. That shit was
ridiculous. But again, if it takes that, but like I can't imagine lightning striking twice in the same spot. All the stars in the fucking sky got to be lined up for them to get that win last night, and they just happened to be. Now, is that going to happen again tomorrow night? I seriously doubt it. But we got to go back to Indiana, and we got to hope that the fucking stars in Indiana don't line up for them, because then we're already in a 1-0 deficit, and we lost home court advantage. So now we got to go over there and steal one just to make this shit make sense. But I personally believe that we got the fortitude to do it. I believe that we got the team to do it. I believe that what I saw for the first 3 quarters is going to show up. We just have to make sure that it shows up for the entire 4. It's 48 minutes to a game, and we have to make sure that final 2.5 minutes or 3.5 minutes of laps that we had in game 1, it doesn't show up and rear its evil head in game 2 or any game thereafter.
And something I'm gonna give credit to Tibbs on this factor, and this will be the last thing I'll say, is that we've been dogging Tibbs this whole season, and even certain key moments in his playoff series. But I feel like even though we still feel that he needs to be a better in-game adjuster, I feel like the adjustments he does after a game or after a loss, win or loss, has been uncontended. Like, he has probably made the best adjustments from all these coaches. I'll keep it a buck, bro, because he had to deal with the Celtics. He had to deal with the Pistons, bro. Like, he had to deal with a lot right now. So I'm hoping he continues that and takes this L to say, yo, all right, we lost. I fucked up during the game, but I watched enough video. I watched enough. Guys, this is what we need to do now to win game 2. And let's see how it portrays. If we win game 2, game 3, game 4, whatever. If the Pacers happen to switch it up a mid-game, but then that's what's gonna have to happen. But I do feel a little bit more confident now on that aspect, now that I'm thinking about, you know what I mean? Now that I've thought about it, I slept on it, because everybody was angry last night. Nobody thinking straight when they angry.
We are on
more than just
I'm sorry. No, go ahead, Cash. It's
more than just adjustments. It's more than just X and O adjustments at this point. There are some X and O adjustments he is gonna have to make, but it's
the players. They got to adjust
right, the mental lapses.
They got to
the tightening up. In big spots, and they normally don't do that. So I give them that. And they all like they seem loose, but towards the end of the game, and again I do think fatigue had a part in that. I do too. If you ever hooped, whether on the YMCA or professional level, whatever, when you're fatigued, there's mental lapses, and your body physically can't keep up. You know what I mean? Your jump shot is flat. You don't get legs into your jump shot. You might, get beat on a defensive assignment. So that you saw Denley Wright come off the bench a little bit. I would have liked to see him get a couple more minutes. I can't understand why he didn't. I like Campaign. He came in and he hit a couple of big shots. Tibbs did extend his bench a little bit. I get it, because he had no choice. You know what I'm saying? But I think you got to give these guys a breather, because I think at the end of the game, these guys have to be. Jalen Brunson, you've ever noticed when Jalen Brunson at the end of the game, he gets stripped mostly towards the end of the game. I know they send the double teams at him and everything, but he starts to have these mental lapses. He starts to look at the ground when he dribbles, and he just listen, fatigue, inbounding the ball. I don't know if they haven't gotten that all yet. I'm not sure how they can clean that up. With watching some game film today and a walkthrough and all that shit, but they have to be able to clean it up. That is a major, major fucking problem in situational basketball. The free throws, we already know that. Like you said, don't let the fucking ref shit deter you. But the refs got a call. We didn't have a friendly whistle at all. There was no home cooking that game. Before we get out of here, Jay. I agree with that. I want to play a clip. Shit was a script. Enjoy the show. Keep it a buck TV. That shit was a script. Enjoy the show. Okay. I you know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at that, you know. So listen, Adam Silver. If it was a script, I think the script will eventually be where they write it, where New York is going to be in the finals. I think it's good for the game of basketball. But thanks for tapping in. Appreciate that. And if you hit like and subscribe and share if you could, man. That help the show out. I want to play a quick clip, right? Two quick clips actually. One is Tyrese, Halle Berry on the post game talking about the choking.
I love that.
Here we go. And then I'm gonna come back and play what Kat said.
No, hell no.
Did you think it was a 3 in the moment?
Yeah, for sure. But quickly in my celebration, somebody said it was a 2, and then my focus just became winning it. You know how we could win the game, and I thought we did a great job of sticking with it in overtime, just making big play after big play. Obviously, Aaron's heroics are. I hope they're talked about it. They can't be talked about enough. He was amazing down the stretch. We had a big putback dunk. We had a lot of different guys contribute, make plays, and I was really proud of our group.
When did the choke idea come to you?
In the moment, I wasn't like plotting on it or anything. Everybody wanted me to do it like last year at some different point, but it's just gotta feel right, and it felt right at the time. If it would have been, if I would have known it was a 2, I would not have done it. So I think I might have wasted it. If I do it again, then I might be. People might say I'm like aura farming, so I'm not. I don't plan on using it again.
So, a couple of things. Tyrese Halle Berry had a little bit of self-awareness. A little bit of self-awareness on his part. Like, that tells me 2 things. He was plotting for this moment since last year. You remember Game 7, he comes into the fucking arena with the Reggie Miller shit. You know what I'm saying? So he was waiting for his moment. He did understand. He pulled the trigger a little too quick. He should have kept that in the tuck. But who knows when you're gonna have another game beater? But he did think it was a 3. Another thing is, I can't stand the guy, right? The punchable face, as we say on the show. I get all of that. Here's my thing about. Here's my thing about.
Man at 2 voices.
Hold on. Here's my thing about dudes like Halliburton, dudes like Trae Young, even villains in the NBA. Draymond Green when he's talking about Cat, Dylan Brooks to a lesser extent. As much as I hate them as a fan, right? As a hardcore Knicks fan, you know how much hardcore Knicks fans we are. 30-something years as a Knicks fan, the pain, the suffering. These guys are good for the game, man. That shit is theater, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit is fucking theater. Reggie Miller, Jordan, all these guys had these this extra theater and rivalries back in the days. We used to complain. These guys are too buddy-buddy. LeBron's friends with everybody. He's shucking and jiving the whole game. He's going out, taking these guys to dinner. There's no competitive, fervor to bite off Goofy A. Smith and shit. But I like, you gotta love the competition, the spirit of the competition. These guys want to beat each other. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta respect that. So I understand what he was saying about the choke thing. I don't love it, but it adds a little spice to the fucking series. Next clip. I have a problem with this clip. It's Cat, and I want your opinion on this. And I'm gonna tell you what my problem is. Here we go.
Carl, obviously you're from here. You know the history of the Knicks and the Pacers. Although it was a long time ago, is there any part of you that's kind of aware of the historical similarities between this game and the? I know Tyrese did the choke gesture. The same thing with Reggie Miller on the call. Is there any part of you that's thinking about that, or can you process that as a New Yorker?
It's our job to make history. So we're not here to repeat history. We're here to make history. So that doesn't pop into my mind. I only think about the present and what we could do right now so we can make our own history.
I don't want your opinion. This is my last opinion. He basically said, the interviewer said, Carl, you're from the area. Are you aware of the historical significance with the choking gesture? throwback for the Pacers Knicks rivalry, the Spike Lee, Reggie Miller, back and forth, and he goes, "We're here to make new," in his fucking I love Cat, but we're here to make new history. We're not worried about all that. I don't want that fucking answer out of Cat, man. I want the motherfucker to say, "Yo, the motherfucker disrespected the soil in the garden. We not having that shit next game." You feel what I'm saying? We not having that shit. I don't like where's the fucking competitive edge, man? I know that's not really his personality, but where's that, Jay? What you think about that?
No, that's what I was gonna say. It's exactly what I was gonna say. I wanted to hear more passion in that answer. He can acknowledge it and say, "Hey, listen, we're not here to fucking repeat history. We're here to make our own history." But I want to hear a guy say, "I didn't like it. That shit annoyed me." I remember, yes, I remember what happened, 30 years ago with Reggie. I think almost to the day. And I didn't I didn't like the shit then. I'm not even, I'm from the area. I don't like people coming into our home and doing shit like that. He don't got to curse or nothing, but I want to hear more passion from him. He sounded defeated. Like like his tonality and everything. He sounded like somebody had stripped his fucking heart out. So I again, that could be just his personality. Maybe it's all to do about nothing. Maybe he goes in there and you see the Cat that we saw that night because he played good basketball. I don't see anything about the game where I could say he sucked or that wasn't the Cat I wanted to see. But I did want to hear more passion, and I saw that when that happened. And I wasn't happy then. So I agree with you. That was a great clip to play. But again, could it have been his personality? Maybe. But I want more. I want to hear something like what I would have heard Oakley say or something, that you ask fucking John Starks that shit, and their response is going to be way different than that. Back then it was, and they weren't happy at all.
But there's guys that what do you say?
And they responded physically.
Even a Draymond, a fucking, you name it. That was an amazing answer if they win the series.
If they win the series.
If they win the series. I need more fire, bro. And I know you got to show it on the court, but I need more fire. I know Jalen's kind of subdued and he's kind of laid back and he has a serious face and he has his little dry humor, but I bet, I just need a little bit more fire, man. Fuck that. We're not letting that shit happen. You know what I'm saying? You, Trae Young, I'm putting a, you know what I mean? Like, warning. I'm putting a bag on your fucking head. You come in that lane. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of shit. You know what I mean?
Like,
so
fucking, they shot your fucking cousin in front of you.
Yo, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Nah, fuck that shit. I ain't letting that shit ride.
Word. Man, it's a society energy, no doubt. No doubt. Kane, they shot your cousin in front of you, nigga. That's a fact, Jay. That's a good ass analogy, man. That's a good ass analogy. Shout out to Keep It a Buck TV. Appreciate you tapping in, Lord. Q, what do you think of that response, man? Before we get out of here, would you like to see more, more aggression, verbal aggression, or was you cool with what Cat said? Because Tyrese is out here. Holly Berry's out here, trying to show us up. Yeah.
I think Cat still needs some more, acquaintance to like, he still need to adapt. He hasn't been here long enough.
Fuck that. We in the Eastern Conference Finals, nigga. Adapting is over with. But understand what I'm saying. Like when I say adapt, like has Cat really lived in New York and walked the streets of New York or New Jersey and New York? Like, what I mean? Like, from Jersey.
All right.
So he played in Rutgers Park.
Did you hear the clip? You want me to play the clip? You want me to play the clip again?
He played in New York. Like,
all right, so I'm gonna ask you right now.
And he from the lady said you from the area. You understand the significance of this. And he kind of just, was like, that's cool, but we gotta do our own thing.
Because I rehearsed it, because I knew you were gonna ask that question. But you know what happens? He's just media trained. That's what happens when you get a famous person, a famous NBA person, media trained. That's the NBA, bro. Like, because if you want to watch, if you're gonna want to hear my response, that's just gonna be totally out the woodworks. Because that sounds like a person who really don't care about winning. He's actually just truly glad that he just got where he's at. And he sounds soft as shit. Like, y'all niggas ever heard Taliburn speak and fucking Jalen Brunson? Like, them niggas, like, I'll keep it a buck with y'all, man. Like, and this is
No,
why
Brunson don't talk shit a lot, but Halliburton talk shit.
No, but like when you guys hear them, do they have like a voice that sounds like demanding? Like when Anthony Mason was interviewed and Charles Oakley and even like fucking Larry Johnson, like all the greats, man. Yo, when they interviewed him after the game, they had a demanding voice, man. They had a demanding voice. People want to listen to them. They knew it was about business. You know what I mean? Like it sounds like I'll probably brought up.
It ain't how you say it. It's what you say, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna harp on that. But I just wanted to hear a little bit more. You know,
Passion.
fire.
But
passion.
don't be scared of it. But don't be scared of it. Like and that's where I feel like that's where I feel like he's coming from. I feel like and that's where I feel like a lot of these guys are like basically, and then we can talk about this on another topic. But a lot of these guys, like, listen to Jalen Brunson's, like, his talks, man. Like, when he's post games, yo, nothing. Yes. Yeah. This is why. Yo, come on, man. Like, yo, at the end of the day, like, if I was the cockiest dude and I was the illest dude, or like I made the clutchest shot, I should be able to maintain my mentality, maintain my body, maintain my wealth. Those are the three things, man. Three spirits, man. Holy Trinity. You know. And you should also be able to maintain the crowd. That's the people, that's the audience. Give them a good little speech, man. There's no indulgence in that. But the fans indulge in that, the reporters do. When you give them, yeah, man, like, oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, no, yeah, I want to see, like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people, we can go back to years and years of NBA footage of NBA players who gave bad, post conferences and pre-conference interviews, and what it is. But they go onto the court and what they do, show out. Like, we shouldn't have to depict
He
them.
shows out.
But,
if he shows out, then this is all to do about nothing. But if he goes out and he lays a fucking egg, then we can look back at this conversation and say to ourselves, well,
I don't.
He got his heart snatched in
what it has
game
to do what it has to do for New York, because New York has never got this recognition for how long? Even in the 90s, we didn't get this recognition. Come on, get out of here. You think they were interviewing, you know what I mean? Like, Ewing and post, you know what I mean? Post conferences and those, like, come on, man. If they were keeping it short and brief, yeah, they were keeping it short and brief. Like, now it's extended.
You got to think about who he was supposed to speak to in that moment. The reporter gave him a layup, and he was supposed to use that
and he
speak to the fans. He was supposed to speak through that statement to the fans about what he's gonna do
and
New York pride
to give the fans something to carry into the next game, because the fucking gut punch was too ruthless that night.
Something to galvanize the troops.
To galvanize the troops and the fans. So he missed the opportunity.
He missed the opportunity,
and he fumbled it, and because they gave it to the wrong person. But like, I don't even think Jalen Brunson is the right person. I think that person that you
that's not Jalen's style. That's not Jalen's style. Jalen's more like,
give it to Josh Hart. Yo, you give it to Josh Hart, man. That like Josh Hart's gonna win this shit for us, man. I think it's the heart and soul of the team. I'm gonna fuck. Like,
listen real quick. I know I keep saying before we get out, but we're gonna get out of this. I'm looking at the stats, right? Points in the paint. 60. If I told you before the game, if I didn't reel off all these stats and I told you, but we lost, you'd be like, you're crazy. Points in the paint, 62-50. We outdid them. Blocks, 15. No, sorry. Total turnovers we fucked up, 15-7. Blocks, 8-3. Steals, 7-6. Defensive rebounds, 33-28. Offensive rebounds, we got them 13-11. Total rebounds, 46-39. This is where we fucked up at. Free throws, 70% from the free throw line.
Bad.
That's the
game. Wait, hold on.
Turnovers, hold on. 15. Hold on.
15. Catch, because you're reading the stats off. So I want you. How many free throws did we take?
Free throws, 28 for 40. It's terrible.
Shot
you know what I'm saying?
40 free throws.
We shot 40. We shot more than them. They only shot 28. So, I said earlier we didn't get the friendly whistle. We actually got a whistle, but I think you can get a whistle, but situational whistles are what count. The OG Siakam was a crucial fucking whistle to win. I don't even know. He had grabbed the shirt. He had hit his arm. Like, to me, that was bullshit. But whatever, man. Listen, clean up the turnovers. Turnovers and free throws. Guard the three. I think we'll be good, man. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it.
Tomorrow night, I got a strong feeling that we're gonna right the ship, and I think it's gonna be a big win tomorrow night. To be honest, I don't think it's gonna be.
I think we win by 20.
Blowout. Yeah, I foresee a big win tomorrow night, and then just keep our foot on the gas going back into Indiana.
Thunder's beating the Timberwolves. They look like they're gonna clean the fucking Timberwolves up, man. Yeah. I'm rooting for the Timberwolves, man. Cause Thunder's thunder and lightning. You remember the rundowns like thunder, lightning? That's them niggas coming down the fucking court.
Thunder, lightning. The rundown, yeah.
This shit could be ugly.
That was the Rock.
Yeah,
man.
But good show, guys. Thank you for tapping in, man. Hit like, subscribe, and all that, man. Help us. We're trying to grow. Thanks. Tap in tomorrow, man. New York Knicks, Pacers, game 2. Sweet revenge. Sweet revenge, man.
Baby. It's our time.
Any parting thoughts before we go?
That's it. It's just our time.
Who's taking us out?
Fire.
Oh, it's still looking like the dude.
How did you do that? That's fire.
Yeah, that's fire. Everyone gonna think I'm Illuminati now because I did the devil horns and shit. The motherfuckers gonna. You got a Mac, Jay?
Yeah, it's on the Mac.
Hold it up. Hold it up.
Yo, salute.
Hold on.
No, I like it.
Is it all? Maybe because of older Mac. Also, if you do this, yeah, that shit, right?
That shit ain't doing it either.
Thumbs. And what's the other one?
The heart shit. But anyway.
Yeah. We over here wilding. All right, man. Yo, Real Sports Talk. Do the toast. We out. Yeah. Jay, you out of here with the toast? What's up?
Yeah. That's
nice short episode. We're a little all over the place, but it's all good.
Friday night, NYC. We got to turn this back around. I'm sure we'll right the ship. Everybody gonna do what they need to do. We'll stomp these motherfuckers out, and then we'll take it to Indiana and finish this shit up. Peace, our way of life, gentlemen. Let's go.
Peace.
Salud.